Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy Live, and have we got a fantastic after show party for everyone tonight. We've got the executive producer of the hit TV show BBQ USA, Nick Panagopulos. It's so great to have him here on the show. We can get a lot of information from him, what they're looking for in these competitions. We're going to open up a huge question and answer. I've got a lot of questions for him. You know me, with BBQ Champs, we're doing a lot of filming, and there was some really unique things that we've seen that they were doing, and I want to talk a little bit about that today. And we also got co-host Mr. Bill Purvis, Chicken Fried Barbecue, with us, and also Mr. Robbie Royal with Rescue Smokers. We thought it would just be really great to have both of those guys on as well. They've been on the show several times already. Suzette loves to pick on Bill, constantly saying, "Oh, where's Waldo going to be at in this episode?" So every time we turn around, Bill is getting him his nice little cameo spot. But it's going to be a great show tonight. And as y'all come in, let us know. We want to always, as we always do, give a shout out to all of our loyal listeners that are with us each and every week. Mr. Gordon, man, for some reason, I knew that you was going to be the first one with us tonight, all the way from up in Michael Simon's hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Thanks you for being with us. Thank you for all the pictures that you posted last night. And it was really, really great to see all that stuff. Emmeline, thank you for being with us tonight as well, from Marietta, Georgia. Darian, as always, you count on you being here week in and week out. Who else we got? Big Homies Barbecue down in Louisiana. Thank you for joining us. Man, we got them from coast to coast. We got Toby here from West Virginia. Miss Brenda, Gordon's beautiful wife, she's with us tonight. Mr. Tim Esch. Tim, congratulations, man, on your big grand champion this weekend up in Oklahoma. And we appreciate you being with us as well. Miss Caitlin Crane, thank you, sweetie, for being with us. With some famous people tonight. Hey, Mike, congratulations on your success. Man, I really appreciate it. It was an honor. It was really, really great to be on the other side of the camera from what I normally do here at BBQ Champs Academy. So it was a lot of fun, and I really wanted to get Nick on so we could kind of really get some behind-the-scene things that I witnessed, and then some of the things to help anybody want to get on the show. We're fingers crossed, that there's going to be a season 3. I would have to think, as good as these shows have been this year, I can't see how people would not want to continue to watch these shows. John, we appreciate it. Good evening, Mike. Congrats on a fine show. I'm finally able to do my first rib competition in 3 years. That's great, John. Get out there and have fun with it, man. Al, thank you for joining us. Mr. Danny Titus, he had him a nice little walk in chicken down in Bow Bridge. I think he had a 5th or 6th chicken. And great show last night. Appreciate it. Let's see. Justin, thank you for being with us tonight. Mr. Daniel, or Bo Daniel, thank you for being with us, Bo. I hope you're doing well. He's over in Texas. Paul, we appreciate you being here with Twisted Boot Barbecue. There's the other guy. Man, Brady, I hope you're doing good, brother. Man, it was a great show last night, and you did an awesome job, and all the stuff that they had filmed with you. Little trash talking there when the gumbo was going on. Calm, nice, but just said, I hope you guys are doing good. So, great spots last night for you as well, Brady. Sam, thank you. Let's see. Do the chicken call, Mike. Oh, God, I got a feeling I'm going to be hung into that chicken call now for quite a while. Jessica told me, she said, if you get a walking chicken, and Jessica was our producer who was following us around. And she said, if you get a call in chicken, are you going to do that chicken call? Because you said, if you get a call in chicken, you've got a chance to win it. And I was like, yeah, I'll make sure at some point in time I do get the chicken call. We're going to save that for another time and not do the tonight. Anyway, there you go, buddy. I did it anyway. Oh, goodness. Joel, what's up, Mike? We appreciate you being here. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the show. Hey, tell Nick, because he's the guy that's making all this happen and making us barbecue guys look good and I kept saying over and over to Jessica that I really do appreciate what these guys are doing and bringing light to the sport that we absolutely love. To me, that is just absolutely wonderful. So Brady did a great job. Yep, he did. Here's the other one. Kyle, you had a nice walk. I think, if I recall, you had a 5th place brisket, if I remember correctly. And, man, it was great. Good call there. Bob, I know you had a nice chicken call as well. Glad you're here with us tonight. Scott, we appreciate you being with us. Craig, thank you for joining us. Yeah, Brady said, man, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, there's no doubt. We hope we can get him back again. Let's hear that chicken call. Look, I done gave it once. That's all you're getting out of me, buddy. Let's see who else we got. Al, we appreciate you being here, man. They're steadily rolling in, 49, and steadily coming in. We appreciate it. Definitely Grand Champion Chicken Cook. Thanks a lot, Al. Oh, Bob, sending flashcards to Daryl, counting, Daryl counting numbers. Yeah, don't worry. We have been on Daryl all day, back and forth between him and Latricia. I'm surprised he hasn't made it on here yet, and if he's not on here pretty soon, I'm going to be sending him a text to get his butt on here so we can razz him a little bit. Let's see. I have a ton of respect for the whole crew. They do a lot of hard work, amazing work, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Josh, thank you for being with us. Can we ask about the viewership last night? Yeah, we certainly will. I kind of dug some digging into that before we filmed the show back in March when we found out we was going to make the audition to be there, and I don't know. I thought I had seen 800,000 people was viewing them, but I could be wrong. The good thing is, though, we got Nick himself. He's going to clear it right up for us, and it won't be no guessing. So, Travis, thank you, superstar. Not hardly, man. But appreciate you being with us tonight. We got Chuck. I know he's been on the BBQ USA as well. Great cook. That's a very, very close friend of Robbie Royal. Cody, thank you for joining us. Darren, what you got, brother? Coming back for another one. Sounds like a rooster. Hey, man, rooster chicken, it's all I got, man. I don't have no more. Alan, we appreciate you being here all the way from Nebraska. So, we got a great show going on tonight. Look, guys, we're going to open up a lot of questions for you. If there's anything that you want to ask Nick, certainly feel free to ask him questions. Myself, Robbie, Bill, we've all been on the show now, and we're going to have a good time tonight. So, really looking forward to it. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to take up too much of our airtime tonight. We've already got right at about 50 folks on here. I'm sure there's going to be a few more folks coming in here in a minute. But as of right now, it's time to bring in the man of the hour, Mr. Nick Panagopulos. Brother, thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time just to join us to talk barbecue.
Oh, I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone. Thanks to the whole barbecue community for watching the show, making it happen for 2 seasons now, and hopefully a third, but we'll see.
Our fingers are crossed, that's for sure. So, well, let's go ahead and get a couple more in here tonight. We got, obviously, the man that ended up winning it all, Mr. Bill Purvis, Chicken Fried Barbecue. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing wonderful. So, just trying to keep up with all the social media and all the, the stardom that Nick's put me to, so.
Yeah, definitely has increased the viewership from our pages, that's for sure. So, right. And another guy that's no stranger to the big screen himself, Mr. Robbie Royal. I'm sure many know him. He won Barbecue Pitmaster back in season 5 or 6, and he's made a couple spots on BBQ USA as well. Robbie, how are you doing, brother?
I'm great, Mike. Excited about the little get together tonight and getting some straight answers from Nick.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any secrets to you, Robbie.
I know.
That's for sure. Oh, well, we got a few more folks coming here. Great show last night. Okay, Lucas is from the land down under. He is all the way from Australia.
No, and, Nick wants to go to Australia. I know he does. I know he does.
If you want to go to Australia, there's your first guy right there. Lucas is a great guy, and I met him last year. He's a very good customer of ours. He was been over at the World Food Championship last year in Dallas. I got a chance to meet him, and anyway, so he's a good guy, and I'm sure he can hook you up with quite a few folks over there from Australia. So. I got a few more folks. Big shout out to Bill. Let's get one more grand. He's already got it, Al. He's already got his 7. He is going to the Jack. Mr. Terry Rome, one of our state cookers, Mr. World Champ, 2018 SCA World Champ. All right, well, let's see. One more. He came back. Bring the show down here. Got a friendly bunch of them. Yeah, maybe one day, man. You never know. All right, Nick, man. I tell you what, it's an incredible show which you have put together in 2 years, and just tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your company, Simple Alien, your production team, and then we're all going to have a few questions for you. And then, if y'all have any questions for Nick, we're going to throw them his way as well.
Sure. Yeah, no, again, thank you guys for having me, and to the whole barbecue community. I feel like, before the pandemic, we were doing reality lifestyle shows for a bunch of different networks. And over the last 2 or 3 years, it's really just focused in on food. And we've been doing a lot of different Food Network shows, and mostly with Michael Simon. So the opportunity came up that they were looking for another barbecue show. And we were able to get BBQ USA on the docket, and they were interested in doing it. To be honest, I don't think they had much faith that it would do that well. And they, because they rarely do travel logs nowadays, and they kind of classify this as a travel log show. If you look at Food Network, there's a lot of competition shows and not a lot of travel logs anymore, except for, Guys, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which has been going on a million years. But so there's not a lot of room for it in their schedule. And I think what really clicked with them was this was a travelogue with a built-in competition. And then what I don't think they were expecting was how big the barbecue family is, how big the barbecue community is, and growing. And we didn't expect that either. And I think it's been, even just the last 2 years that we've been going on circuit, and we keep seeing the same faces, some more than others. You two guys,
Waldo.
But, it's just great. And everywhere we go, people kind of embraced it. I think first season, everyone was like, okay, what are these guys all about? But after they saw that we weren't, we try to give an honest depiction. And we talked about it, and I've talked about it with Robbie about Pitmasters was great and inspired a lot of people, but they did kind of juice the drama a little bit.
Yeah. And
we haven't really done that. We haven't really needed to be honest, because I think there's a lot of built-in drama. But the biggest thing with this is that we were taken by surprise how big the community is. And, this season, I heard you talk about how many people are watching and that kind of thing. And we actually started out a little bit softer than our first season, but every week it's been growing, and the network has definitely taken notice. And, we're averaging, I think it's between 900,000 and 1 million on first viewing, but that doesn't include the +3, which is the DVR +3 and +7 numbers, which I don't have access to those, but I know that's another big boost. So you're getting a pretty big audience, even though there's all this talk that TV is dying and stuff, it still has the biggest audience.
Man, I've watched it 5 times, Nick, since it's aired.
Well, then there you go. So minus Bill Purvis's thing, we're probably at like 800,000.
The button on our DVR is going to be broken by the time this is over. My wife is just like, I didn't know what I was going to look like on TV, and I was like, she was terrified, like the whole time. I said, "It's fine, baby. It's a camera."
She did great.
She did good. Great. She did a really good job with it. So,
all the teams did great, and I think last night's episode, I think it really hit on a lot of notes. We had obviously the gumbo is just something fun and different, and this season we've been trying to get work in a lot more ancillaries just to keep things a little different. And then just the competition itself, it was a great group. We follow 6 teams. We don't always have all 6 teams end up getting equal airtime, but the ones that, as much airtime as we could put in there, I think everyone did a great job. And then again, Bill came in and took up a little airtime, but it's all right.
That was my plan going in. That was the plan going in, Man, why are you coming over here? I might see if I can get a little cameo.
Like, come on, man. Get on out of here.
To be truthful, Bill tells the truth. We just came and saw you at the end there, and we talked about 10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
that was. I was just like, oh, we'll come in and say hi.
Yeah,
and then we all know what happened at the end, but no, it was great. It was a great show. It starts feeling good, and I think the more episodes we do and the more teams we get to know, and we start seeing you guys out there on multiple competitions, we could do these little flashback things, and we start having these kind of recurring moments.
Well, and even like at the Royal, Nick, y'all came in and Mike did a little interview, but that one didn't make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, but so you never know what's going to. It's probably a good deal to go in and do a little 5 or 10 minute job on previous teams, and if it turns out it fits the story, it fits the story. You can
plug it in.
Yeah, we always try to get Mike to go around and say hi to everybody. And, if it ends up getting used, it does. We had this one guy in and Butts and Clucks after Cold. He won first place brisket, but
Yeah.
Oh,
Man,
sorry.
I haven't heard of that guy. I haven't
Is that
heard of
Robbie? Yeah. He's like, what did I have to do? I had a first place brisket and I didn't make the cut. Yeah.
And a stupid
You know.
remark I made the cut about my sexy waist, because I don't have a sexy waist. So.
Oh my gosh. You said that, I about fell out of my chair. I was like, gosh.
And I think that's the big thing is the difference between the shows. I did Nick's podcast 2 weeks ago now, and it hadn't aired yet. But the difference in the shows, this is us. This is showing you what we are. Michael's not coming in and getting in the way.
Yeah.
Michael's as humble of a person, and Nick says what you see is what you're getting. And and that's a cool thing. And last night's show was phenomenal, as well as I think every show that they've done. And between Karen's my main girl that I know, and I've worked with her, main lady, and Nick, and it's just a great group of folks. I mean, I've worked with a lot of good folks on TV and barbecue, and this group of Simple Aliens right there at the top, Nick.
Yeah, we lucked out. We have a great crew, and they're all into it. Everyone, all the camera guys, they all love it, and you can tell because they put the love into it.
Oh yeah.
And
all of them are following us along too, because I mean I see them and they're keeping track of what I'm doing. I mean I saw Karen at Memphis May. Oh, Bill, man, you've been killing it lately. So they're all watching the teams that they've filmed before.
No, I said it. I mean, when we started filming with you guys, very quickly it felt like we were just part of the barbecue family, the whole crew, and we love doing it. So we should typically by the end of August, early September, they kind of let us know if we're going to have another season. So we're hopeful, and I'll say it again at the end of the show. Just keep watching and keep telling people about it, because we those numbers keep going up. They're gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're approaching 900,000, I think what I've seen, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives like 1.2, 1.3 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be 400,000 behind him, who's got 45 seasons in the can, and this is only your second season. I mean, Nick, come on, man. I mean, y'all are doing a bang up job. So
again, it's I always said we've been very, very lucky in TV and being able to do this business for the last 20 some years, and it's a roller coaster, and when you have a show that actually is appreciated and people are watching it, it gets me excited. I want to do more. I would love to keep pitching different barbecue shows. The trick is making them different. You got 4 meats. How many times can you watch the brisket be done? How many times?
Oh, well. So
I can watch it every day.
I can watch it. And I think most barbecue people can watch it. I mean, I already got people shiggins. Like, I get 3 text messages before I even woke up this morning, like, man, I appreciate that tip, and I'm like, so it's really cool. The barbecue people, we're a barbecue family. It's what we talk about all the time. And we all want to support everybody, and I think we all enjoy seeing everybody on the big screen. It's very good to be able to get some recognition, especially in the barbecue world, because it's so tough out there. So, and you just kind of brought up something, and this is something that Tim Ish said. What plans do you have to keep it interesting down the road? Meaning, how do you keep doing it? So.
Well, I mean, we keep talking about it, and like I said, this year we started filming more ancillaries just to get some. We're trying to hit the broader Food Network audience, so just give them some different food in there, but then still hit on the main competition. And then we also did coming up. We have 3 episodes left. We have we go to the Pacific Northwest next week, and that was really fun. We did a salmon ancillary, which was kind of fun. And then we do a charity event, the Pigs Beach charity event. Yeah. And that was fun because everyone's making like unique dishes, and you got all the the big names. You got Tuffy there, Rodney Scott was there, 17th Street Barbecue, Amy Mills was there. So you got a bunch of different people there. Big Leg Porker that we've seen in other barbecue venues, and they have that.
Sugar Fire was there, I think. Sugar Fire was there.
Yeah,
he was on barbecue. Fire. He was on Barbecue Pitmasters,
Yeah. So I mean, these guys, it was kind of fun to see them cooking different food. So we're looking not only to hit the traditional competitions, but maybe start hitting some competitions that aren't as traditional. But I think, I saw someone on here ask about backyard.
Yeah, here we go, Justin.
On backyard. But I think it always comes down to the story. Like, what do you bring in unique? These guys here, both Robbie and Bill, and yourself. I mean, you guys give up some good tips, and you're giving some good, interesting things, and you're telling you have some winning records, and it's kind of interesting to watch. But I also like, I think one of my favorite stories last year was Darling Nikki, and we did her at the New Jersey Knockout, and here she was a chef. It was 1 year she's been doing competitions, and she was still cooking like to what she liked. Like she didn't care what the judges liked. And I just thought that was such an interesting approach. And maybe someday it'll work, and the palates will shift, and everything will align, and then she'll be like a star. Look at Robbie.
Well, man, I'll tell you this too. I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions with competition barbecue. So even for me, I have to like it. If I don't like it, and if it gets first place brisket and I don't like it, man, I'm still going to change it, because it's still, I feel like, man, I just got lucky. If I don't like it, then man, I want the judges to like it too, but at the same time as well, if I can't stand it and the judges like it, I won't.
I think that's great. I mean, I think that's great, Bill, and I think that's why your palate is on right now, and you're on that winning track, and it's like, if you got to trust that palate at the end of the day. I mean, I just find that it's the people we're going to feature are giving us something different, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're doing wacky stuff, but you might feature some wacky stuff too, but. It's really just about what do you do that's really giving you an advantage, or is going to make you fall on your face, but it's fun to watch.
Right. Where's Daryl at?
Yeah.
like not put 9 slices in the box. Come on, Daryl, where you at?
Daryl had. I think we had all the commercial breaks.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Sweetie's awesome, though. Sweetie was awesome. He was
love him. Absolutely love him.
He set his trailer on fire. He smoked out his trailer, and then
Mike's over there putting the alarm out. Come on, man! Puts it outside. Puts a plate over the top. I was like, God, Sweetie.
He had that rib grind bottle everywhere in that trailer. Every time I turned around, I saw my seasoning in Sweetie's trailer. I thought it was great.
There you go. All right, Nick. So I've got a few questions, and as we get more questions in, enjoying watching barbecues, give me a chance to see different competitions. As season 3 is coming, how do I put Marietta, Ohio, KCBS competition, April the 26th, 27th on your list? So she does a lot of KCBS competitions. So we'll answer that, since that's a good question, because you got somebody trying to get up in Ohio, which I'm sure Michael would love that. What do they have to do?
I mean, a lot of competitions have been reaching out to us. You can reach out to my email. We also just in anticipation, we put up a casting link on our BBQ 321 fan site. So barbecue321.com, and we have casting for teams. I mean, I think for season 3, before season 1 and season 2, we were going to competitions. We were looking at competitions, saying, okay, how are these different? And I kind of feel like in season 3, we've been talking about really finding some characters that we haven't seen, or characters that are unique, and then we'll find where they're going, and we'll go there and pick, round out the cast. So
I try to go there as well.
Yeah. Bill, where are you going, Bill?
Just let me know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. So I guarantee you, I'm just getting warmed up. I didn't want to show out too bad. So.
Man, I don't mind if you just film me at awards too.
Yeah, I think the competitions, just reach out, nick@simplealien.com, and I'll get back to you. And it's all going to come down to just dates and everything else. But also just getting the casting going earlier and starting to see what teams are out there, who has a unique story coming up. We love the comeback story. We love the newbies, like first-time pros.
Right.
See, we love you guys that just keep winning. We love to feature them as well. So it is still, at the end of the day, it's a TV show, and you kind of want to hit those different buckets and keep the story going.
And I think it's good for barbecue too, if you've got newbies in there, because sometimes barbecue can be intimidating for people. There's a lot of people that barbecue, but man, not a lot of them do competition. There's the backyard community, and man, if those guys are watching, having new teams on there, I think may bridge the gap. And there's so many people that have gotten into competition barbecue by watching Barbecue Pitmasters that, man, I see this show doing the same thing. So
I think this is just a stepping stone. I really do. I think this thing is just going to continue to escalate and keep going.
I mean, how many people have told you over the years, Robbie, that, man, they saw you on TV and they got into competition because of watching, people like you on Barbecue Pitmasters? Yeah, I'm sure you've had
a lot.
Tons.
Without a doubt. And Nick and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago when we were talking on the phone, and people ask me all the time, what I got to do to get on there? What is it? I mean, I win, I do this. You got to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. You got to have a little shtick about you. You got to have this little niche.
Right.
But you can't form that or make it happen. It's just got to happen, you know.
It's got to be natural.
If you're getting on, you can't be boring like me. So.
Well, only when you do brisket. Only when you do brisket.
That's it.
No one wants to see that.
See, that
no one wants to see first place brisket.
That could have made good. I was the only person cooking a packer that day, and I got first. That would have made good TV.
I know. The problem is, I'll say
that'll
to Robbie,
be on the next round. They're going to take some leftover footage and make another show out of it, Robbie.
It's going to be on Barbecue Across America. Is what it's going to be. Yeah.
Well,
Season 2 Barbecue
was something. That was something. Season 1, the network came to us and said, "Can you repackage the show on Cooking Channel?" And first time doing it, I said, "I don't know." But then you start looking at the footage, and
you got
guys like Robbie, guys like Bill. I mean, we have every single turn in that they did. You too, Mike, and we have every single turn in, and only a little fraction of it gets put on the air. So it was great. Going back, if the shows are still on, I don't know where they are on Cooking Channel, if they're going to air them again, but. I enjoyed
they were great.
Shows. They were great.
Phenomenal.
I enjoyed them.
Robbie didn't even know they were on. I was like, I kept sitting in the picture. What are you watching? I said, Cooking Channel. And I was like,
Mike's texting me every week. Hey, you're on again.
The network kind of did us wrong. They didn't publicize it, and they didn't tell anybody they were on, and they kind of just came and went. But if they're out there, I tell you what, they were fun to put together.
They were great.
Do you think they'll repackage some of this one for a second episode of Across America, or no?
They haven't ordered it.
No.
I would love to. The problem is these are full commissions, and the way it works is the network pays. We're basically like providing a service, so they own all the footage at the end of the day. Gotcha. So otherwise, we would have like another show. We would have enough to do, a bunch of more episodes.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Marcio, big happy birthday, Marcio. Want to give you a shout out, brother. I know it's your birthday. So
CJ Bean says, how can he get a copy of his footage?
Yeah.
CJ, let me tell you what. CJ was great. And CJ, I'm not passing the buck, but we had more of you in there, and the network was like, we got to cut some time. Let's cut. But it was he was great. He was great.
Yeah. CJ Bean's awesome. Bean is awesome. He is awesome.
That was a tough one.
I agree. I haven't seen many tips from all the cooks. Yeah, Danny calls me this morning like, I got another tip from you. I was like, golly. Thanks, Danny. So, all right. So a couple things that I just want to bring up that a lot of people just may not know about, and I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about it because I've been on the production side here filming for Barbecue Champs Academy. They get everything done. They send it to me, and then we're looking, is there any edits or anything that needs to be made? That's just one cooking class. Now, granted, our cooking class is what, Bill, 8 hours day one, 13 hours day two. It's a lot of filming just to get, a 10-hour episode or a 10-hour class of these guys. And it's easy just to watch one person, and we're just creating, a recipe, a competition recipe that these guys can go cook. But what really, to me, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about that, y'all probably I know Jessica probably spent at least 2 hours in a nonstop interview asking us 10,000 questions, and it's really good because you're already there. You might as well get that B-roll. It's in the can. You can always go back, and that created the other show, Cooking Across America.
Yeah.
But to think about this, and I want the public to think about it, our viewers tonight, I'm one person. He had 6 teams. If you had 2 hours of footage of everybody, that's 12 hours.
Yeah.
Plus, we film for another at least 10 to 12 hours. So that and you're following all the teams. So what kind of what kind of editors do you have that they're sitting here and they have to watch all of our footage of everybody?
Yeah.
And then, okay, we're going to pick a storyline out of this, and then we got to go in and now we've got to tie all that into a story and condense it down to 42 minutes. Not only they're talking and what they're saying, but now we've got to tie that into the barbecue competition itself. Now the real world they're cooking. What does your production team, your editing team look like for that? Because to me, You did an absolutely amazing job with that, and the story that it told.
No, thank you. And like again, it's all about the team. We have a great group. We have when the footage first comes in, we have a team of about 3 or 4 assistant editors that are grouping all the shots together. We shoot everything to time of day, so we can almost like you put it all out on a timeline. You could say, okay, we're here with Mike here. Okay, we're Brady's here. Okay, boom, 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 and you can jump around at time of day. And then from there, we have a story producer that gets a 1 week head start to kind of go through all the footage. And a lot of them work backwards. They see what happened in the award ceremony, and you start working the story backwards.
Okay.
And trying to play to, okay, we know this person placed here, this person didn't place here, but they were the favored. So you start thinking about what those storylines are. And then the editor starts, and basically every week there's 6 acts. I don't know if you watch the show, but there's 6 segments. Mm-hmm. And you look at it, so once a week they're finishing a rough cut on a segment. So by the end of it's actually by end of 6 weeks, you have a full cut.
Right.
And then from there, it's just kind of like a polished job, and what's working, what's not, and how to get it to time. But it takes a good amount of time. Each week they're going through each segment
raw
of the
footage,
show.
Yeah.
And raw footage and starting to peak.
But I mean, these guys have been doing that for 20 years, huh? I mean, it's obviously different shows. These are really experienced people.
This is more of a documentary approach.
Yeah.
When we do competition shows, it's a little more cut and dry. Okay, the first competition is this, and it's only for you have 30 minutes to put this all on a plate. And it's a little more
short, fast.
Almost like a sporting event, right? Like
right.
You're kind of cutting everything to time. But these documentary approach, it does take a little more time, and they do really fast. I mean, you think about a feature documentary you see out there, it could take years to edit a documentary, and these guys are cutting these shows down in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I
saw you at Memphis, and you told me at Memphis that Smoke Show was already done, and that was May, and we filmed it. I mean, it was quick. March.
Yeah, 2 months.
We try to group them and get them cranking right away, because it just takes too long, and then the network needs them a certain time to promote them and all that stuff. What were you saying, Rob?
I think that another big part of it, you take, for instance, the first few episodes last year, Karen was the only producer besides yourself.
Yeah.
And so she was bouncing around the 6 teams. But I think what also helps that I see that is amazing with y'all is you've got a host of the show in Michael Simon that knows everything that we're talking about. And he knows how to bring that out of us. Y'all aren't having to work to bring it out.
No.
And we're just doing what we do. And Michael knows what we're doing, and he understands it to an extent. And I think that's what helps make it gel. And, plus I know Karen will go there and probably tell you, say, hey, this just happened. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard her chat with you like that. And
so I mean, that's the idea that the producers come in and kind of tell us what's happening, but you nailed it. I mean, Michael Simon is the real deal. And anybody who's met him out on this thing. Yeah. I've been working with the guy for the last, going on 12 years now or something. And we love it. I mean, I've worked with a lot of different talent, and not to say, bad things about anybody, but Michael definitely
knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about, and he's natural.
He's never met a stranger. Yeah.
No, and I keep saying this, but the hardest part shooting with Michael is to try to get him to move on to the next person, because he'll just stay there. He'll just stay and talk to you all day.
I know. And I remember I was at Memphis and I saw you. All right, get him out of there. We got to go to Melissa Cookson's. Get him out of there. Let's go. Nick's standing on the outside in the microphone. Wheel him out, because he'll stay in there all day and talk.
He'll stay in there all day. I mean, if you get him talking, he'll go with you. And it's just because he that's what he loves to do. I mean, the guy's in hospitality. He's a restaurant guy, and he's always been around food. He loves it. He can talk all day to all of you.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, Al posted absolutely great job, Nick. The show is different each week and so interesting to watch. Let's not forget Michael Simon. He's the perfect host. I agree. He knows a little bit about everything. That's
what I was going to say. And to Robbie's point, like he'll come up to me after he talks to one of you guys and be like, "Oh, make sure that's got to go in. That's really cool." Like, and he'll kind of give us the heads up of what's different about it and everything else.
Right.
But
when he saw my rotisserie smoker, like I said, he really loved that. And I'll tell you what blew me away was we talking about it, and then you do the 3D drawing, and I'm like, wow, that to me was really, really cool to see how y'all go about doing that. So not only have you've got to have graphic design people that can go in and and model that. So
we have half of our company is a graphics team, and we do graphics not only for our shows, but a lot of the HGTV, like 3D models. And we do a lot of, we did Diesel Brothers, we did Moonshiners. We've done a lot of shows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where you see the intricate designs and that kind of thing. And,
Okay.
you know, when we started BBQ USA, I kind of always felt like that should be part of it, because I personally love shows where you get into the nitty gritty and can really see stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great. If even the first season and seeing the timeline and how everything moves, man, it's a great depiction of what we're, you know, all of us having to turn in 4 meets and what all's going on. I thought it was great.
It helps explain some of the more complicated things. I tell you what, the one thing we haven't cracked, and I'm open to the suggestions, is the darn scoring. I mean, we talked to some. I remember Olathe episode. We talked to the KCBS guy there, and he was trying to explain to us the scoring, and it is just, you get to the table, and wherever's the lowest score, you drop that one, and then if they have this score, and then you add 2 more, and then I was just like, okay, we're just going to say whoever gets this score is the winner.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we did the same in the last night's episode.
Yeah.
He's explaining. He goes, it goes to this table, and then it gets calculated here, and it goes to this table, and like 4 more people look at it, and then it goes one more table, and I'm like, Mike, just say it goes to a bunch of tables, and there's a winner in the end.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, all the sanction bodies are a little different on.
They're all different.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Some
Barbecue
drop
shows,
scores, some don't. You know.
Yeah, here you go, Nick. Barbecue shows are awesome. They never get old. I mean,
there you go.
You know,
we just got to convince the rest of America.
That's it.
Tim Esch has got a theory though on winning: is if you score the most points, you win. You know, that's all you have to do.
That's it.
You know, that's his barbecue class in a nutshell. Is if you score the most points, you win. You know, so
no, it is.
I'm never gonna live that one down. I promise you.
Right.
CJ wants a copy of his footage.
I know. I wish I had it, CJ. I'd give it to you. It's hilarious. You had some good ones.
Yeah. By the way, thank you, Robbie, for being so cool at Galaxy last year. We missed you this year. There you go, Robbie.
There you go, Robbie.
Amen. BBQ USA is great for what we do. Yeah, that's the one thing. Because Jessica kept asking me like a lot of questions and stuff. You know, what is it? Why do you want to be on this show? Why do you? That was her big question. You know, she would ask that question a lot. You know, I want to see the sport of barbecue grow. I got out of drag racing. I had a huge career in drag racing. Set 2 world records. Developed a nitrous nozzle. Got a patent on it. Sold it to the largest manufacturer of aftermarket parts in the world. And there's still a license agreed to them. And I got out of it. You know, you heard Suzette's like, I had to get him out of the house because he was driving me crazy because I just love to compete. And when I got into it, 3 or 4 years, I really started getting my feet wet. I started picking up grand champions. And I was seeing a lot of people like newcomers was doing good and some of the older guys wasn't doing as good. And it's hard to be competitive in this deal. And that's when I came up with BBQ Champs, was like, I really want to do something to help grow the sport of barbecue, and with the likes of Robbie and Bill and Corey Mikes and gosh, all the guys that we've got, I got a ton of them. We have seen the classes and what they do, and we know without a doubt it had a huge impact on the state competitions. It's having a huge impact in the barbecue competition.
We've been doing any interview we do, and we did the Barbecue 321 site kind of as a fan site just to get outreach some more and get some more content out there. But everybody we talk to says, the difference of barbecue competition now versus then is people are taking classes, and they basically skip 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
when you would have to do you guys
$30,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a big difference, and you're seeing it, and it's great. And just like Barbecue Pitmasters, everyone, all of you guys like got into it from Barbecue Pitmasters.
Yeah,
and we'll be out there shooting, and people come to say, I was watching Barbecue USA last season, and I thought I'd give it another try. I used to do this. Awesome. So that's a great feeling.
That's good.
Yeah,
just to kind of get that extra boost in there.
Yeah. So that to me was being just part of the show. I'm excited because I think what you're doing, you're putting the spotlight on barbecue. I am seeing more and more backyard barbecue guys, and I've been talking to Bill about this. Over the last 3 months, I have seen more backyard barbecue guys buy in our classes on BBQ Champs. I think you are bringing such a light to barbecue that, like, man, I can go cook like these guys. I want to see how they're doing. Robbie, you sold a class the other day to a guy up in Canada. And so it's crazy. I don't know if he lives there or he saw the show, and I don't know. I just know where the classes are sold. But I think you are bringing such a spotlight to barbecue that, who was this? Barbecue never gets old. We saw that just a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's been around since cavemen. I mean, we had meat and fire. That was it. And I really do think if the Food Network is willing to give you a couple more years, and obviously, fingers crossed, you get next year, I really think this thing is just going to continue to grow. And with what you was talking about earlier, you're always trying to come up with new ways to get the people that may not be into barbecue interested in it. And that was well spoken.
And I probably could have sold a couple more brisket classes the last 2 weeks.
Well,
we're going to put him in timeout. He's in timeout. Sorry, Robbie. I told you, Robbie, if you got too much, we're going to give you a timeout.
Robbie, if it makes you feel any better, I watch that footage every night before I go to bed.
It's okay. But let me just say one other thing. This is why you get on TV. You got to have fun with everything.
You do.
You've got to just, you can't get upset. You see these folks get upset. And the good thing is, I know they film a lot of this, but you see folks get peed off about not doing this or not doing that. Dude, if you're leaving the barbecue competition, you ain't happy just because you made new friends or whatever. Nick and I talked about this. It's about about growing the sport, like you said a while ago, Mike. We got to be happy for everybody. You can't hold animosity. You just, anyways.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, I was so happy. I wanted to win, but I told Bill, I was like, I want to win it. But I was so happy with freaking Bill. I mean, I saw the video. I mean, I remember I grabbed him and I hugged him, congratulations, man. I mean, I know what it means to him to get the draw to the jack. He had 5, that gave him 6. But I mean, if we can't be happy, there's some people, they're bitter. They're not, I mean, you're not going to win them all. It's just not going to happen. I'm happy.
But I think for the most part, it is people want to see their friends do well.
Sure.
I think
none of us win all the time. So when we don't win, we want our friends to win,
Yeah.
Let's rephrase that. None of us win all the time. You win all the time, Bill.
What's that all about? No, I think last night's episode, even with Brady, I mean, Brady was, he was their coming back champion, but he was so gracious at the end, and he was happy for both you guys, and he's a great competitor. And you can tell, and he even said it.
It was only like 3 months before that where he kicked all our asses. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Just happened to film the one that So
he said, if I'm in the top 3 with these guys, I'm happy, and that's right. I think definitely there's that bit of luck there. I mean, you got to have a good product, but at the end, getting in that top 3,
and I'll tell you, I mean, Brady's in the comments, and he put in the comments he wanted to win, but to get beat by these guys, he was honored. And that's the thing. If you do lose, man, you want to get beat by somebody good. You don't want.
That's right.
Man, you don't want a guy walking in off the street that's never competed before to kick your butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you do lose, you want to lose by somebody good.
Yeah, me and the Tifton episode that Nick and them filmed last year. I mean, I got students that hit 7 of the 9 finals that day. And Michael asked me, he said, "That don't bother me." I said, "No, dude, that's great advertising."
Yeah, that's great advertising. He sold a bunch of them too. He sold like 6 classes that month.
But it's at the same time, it gives me drive to go after them because Chuck Carey is the baddest team in Georgia right now in the GBA. And I'm gonna get them this year, I think, but I doubt it. I'm just joking, Chuck. Just joking,
Chuck's burning pretty hot, huh?
So, he's doing good,
man. And hopefully he's doing well with the hospital and everything. So hopefully
he's doing good. I talked to him.
Good.
Chuck was on here.
Yeah, he's online right now. But
he's
actually, Ford and I FaceTimed him the night before last. Ford wants to FaceTime Chuck every night. Chucker, he calls him, and he's doing good. Good color. So he'll be back out there in a couple of weeks. I don't have any doubt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chuck, we're thinking about you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so here's a question for you. Does team name affect being on the show? Some comps don't even like to say damn if you're lucky enough to get a call.
So the process is we look at about, I think there's like 24 teams we look at in the casting phase, and that gets narrowed down to maybe 10, and then that gets sent to the network, and the network kind of says we like these, whatever, and they kind of weigh in, and then that's how we get down to the final 6. So I guess you could say if you catch somebody in there that's offended by your name, but I like the names. I think that's part of it. We go around and we shoot. I tell our photographers, get as many of the names as you can, and we'll put them out there. I think they're great. Yeah, but
it might do better if it was chicken fried Yankee Texas barbecue versus Yankee. I'm just saying. I know Shane. I'm just messing with Shane.
Let's see, CJ. You guys do an awesome job. I truly understand you have to cut it down to 45 minutes from 48 hours of filming 6 teams.
And then CJ, I'll tell CJ this. First season we shot with LC, Bill Breeden and his family, and he got like a little tiny part. And then we came back and we filmed him at the American Royal, and he was one of the main storylines. So, CJ, we'll definitely connect again.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be pretty awesome if you filmed the Texas High School Barbecue Championship next year. These kids are amazing.
Yeah, that's fun. Here's the other thing that kind of drives me crazy. We had a whole episode, American Royal, where we shot the kids' queue. It's like the largest kids' queue. It was awesome. We had so much footage, so much fun. And the network was like, no. I had the first act was all kids queue, and they go, no, cut it way down, because they said that for whatever reason the kids they do a kids baking championship, but that's the only thing that rates with them with kids, so they don't really go for it. I think it could be a whole show on its own,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, it was an honor and privilege to work with you guys. Yeah, Brady, always brother.
Always great.
Brady, I'm coming after you this weekend, brother.
Where are y'all going this weekend, Mike?
We're going up to Minnesota. Me and Brady, he's coming up here. We're going to hook up in my trailer. We're probably going to go to Minnesota or New Jersey, way away from Louisiana. Just you're cooking Bill somewhere else, Bill. Stay away. We're going down to Bunkie, Louisiana, which is about 50, 60 miles north. Probably about 70 miles north of Bow Bridge. So just right outside of Marksville. So
you could probably make that, Bill. Robbie, what do you
think? I could, but I'm going to be at the KCBS Invitational.
That's good. That's good.
It's a doubleheader up in Kansas, and they're giving out a lot of money. So
I'm running boxes for Bill at the Jack. So
there you go.
The Jack is coming up in that's September,
October, the second week of October. So
and that would be a good one too, because especially on the ancillaries.
Yeah.
They have an open and they have a dessert, and people go all out in the decorations, much like, I don't know if you saw many of the dessert turn-ins at the Royal, Nick.
Yeah, we came in that day, so we didn't see a ton of them. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, they really go all out and decorate. It's it would probably make good TV, the decorating of the desserts and the opens.
I'll tell you one thing. We did Memphis and May both seasons, and this season is a little special because Michael competes, and so does Mr. Robbie Royal there. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be an interesting episode. It's like see how that does. But we did American Royal, and I tell you what, the smaller festivals I like better. I feel like we get a better feel for them. Like American Royal it's great there when you're there, but the camera we couldn't really get enough feel on it. And I don't think it's so big. And same in Memphis, we really only stay in the whole hog, and there's a whole other pork shoulder and a whole other rib section that we never even get to.
Well, the Jack is only 60-something teams, American teams. And
all right, we'll come to the Jack. Look at that.
There you go.
No, I'd love to come to the Jack. I'd love to come to the Jack. I'd love to go to Houston Rodeo. Those are one of the big ones.
Yeah. The Jack is small. I mean, in a sense.
But I mean, like it's like a World Series. It's still kind of like a Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, I heard y'all was wanting to go to the Jack last year, but there was some kind of conflict with Michael's schedule. So I'm just letting you know I'm available. So I'm just throwing my name in the hat. Jessica.
Michael's not here this episode.
Yeah, Jessica had said something. So what would your one dream about? I said, hey, if Michael is ever sick, can't step, I will be glad to step in. I'm not worried about the camera. She cracking up.
I'm going in time out again because that's my spot. Mike.
I'm going to.
No way, buddy. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Purpose wins all the time. Let's see what Brady said here. I want to win, but if you're going to get beat by the best. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's it.
Chris Schaefer's in there. He won the Jack last year, so he'll be cooking the Jack this year.
Chance. I'm still trying to get caught up. There we go, Bill. Bill taking it like he knows what he says to lose. Oh, goodness gracious.
It is. We really lucked out in season 1. We picked a lot of teams, and we've seen you guys win in a bunch of shows now. I mean, it's just great to tap into that. And but no, I think it's a little bit of luck of the draw. And you guys know sometimes when we're filming with you, like Robbie knows, like sometimes you don't always win, but we,
yeah,
it's not really about that though. I mean, honestly, with the Food Network, they just want to see the interesting tips, the unique take on it. What are you doing that's a little bit different than the next guy?
Yeah. That's the one thing that, coming from my background of racing, right? Very, very fast car. I mean, this thing ran, I don't know, 0 to 63 miles an hour in 1 second, quarter mile at 215 miles an hour in 6.5 seconds, right? So, and I built my own engines. I built my own nitro system, did all the tuning. I did everything. So I had massive notes. Every time we raced all over the country, and constantly, every time you go to a race, you're keeping notes.
I'll be right back. I got to go check the tires real quick.
Go ahead. So you're constantly keeping notes. Okay, when I go to Atlanta, in Commerce, Georgia, here's the chassis setup, here's the tune-up. When I go to Norwalk, Ohio, here's the chassis tune-up. I was a detail guy. Everything I did was detailed down. You had to be. I mean, I'm driving a car that's incredibly fast. Attention to detail. I remember one time we put a new oil filter on it. We changed the oil, put a new oil filter on it. And we always are checking each other. Hey, did you check it? Yeah, I've already checked that oil filter. How many times are you going to ask me? He's like, I said, put your ass in a deadgum car running 215 miles an hour and the oil filter's loose. You get oil on the slick and you're upside down. You'll want to make sure you're double checked too. So I kind of took all that mentality with me when I came into barbecue. I told Robbie always thought I was nuts, but the way I do my rubs and things like that. But I mean, I'm sitting here fixing to go to my 133rd competition, and I've got detailed notes of every single thing that I have done at every competition, my exact recipes, my times, everything.
Mike counts the grain of salt in a
shut up.
teaspoon to be sure it's the same.
Not necessarily the grains, but the grams. I just weigh everything out just to keep it consistent. So when I went into Bow Bridge, first year, had a 3rd place brisket. I went back the next year, I had a 14th. I looked at what I did, and I was like, my God, I completely changed it. Like, what the heck did I do? I made it way saltier. So I knew I'm going to go back to what I did the prior year. And the same thing with rib. I had a good rib. I changed my rib. I went back to that. So what did I end up? I got a second and a second. So consistency.
You know what's interesting about that is like, following along and interviewing these people. We just talked to runners, Rob and Amy, Doc, and they were saying, they'll do something. If they're not hitting, they'll kind of reset it. They'll go back like a couple years and see what they were using a couple years ago, and kind of reset the clock and see, because it does seem like it is a cyclical thing with the judges.
Yeah. I think it does. I think flavor profiles change. Bill will tell you that. Robbie will tell you that. So I'm always trying to be the one that's outside the box, trying to do something that nobody's doing. I've got rubs that nobody uses, because I think you really have to kind of set yourself apart. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, and sometimes when I get something that works, I mean, I just kind of stick with it and make little tweaks to it. So
that was another thing I really liked. Our last season, Memphis in May, and we were there when Brad and the Blues Hog won with those mega drums cooking hot fat. That was crazy. And it was, and you could see like that was like one of those like running hog moments, when the shed came out with the running style, like
running style, yeah.
No one, I thought for sure we were going to see some more mega drums.
Yeah.
This year's Memphis in May, but it hasn't. I guess it's too pricey or something. But it is pretty cool to see those, like how the flavor kind of changed. And it took everybody by surprise a little bit.
So. See, if you record Bill at the Jack, I'm just going to hang in his trailer. You may have to fuzz my face out.
Bill's going to have all kinds of groupies around his trailer.
Oh, that's for sure.
Struggle is real.
So. Oh, that is hilarious.
I tell you what, though, I do have a guy at HEB from being on season 1. I went into HEB looking for meat, and he's like, I saw you on TV, man. Let me know. He's turned into one of my best friends. He'll text me when he gets briskets and ribs, and he's all over it. So
right.
It's been. He texted me this morning, hey, I got 3 briskets if you want them. And he knows I want 20 pounds or heavier. Wheeled over there this morning.
Looking out for you.
Oh, he does, man. And it's because of, he saw me on TV. So it's
yeah,
great.
that's crazy. Brady, where's Sweetie? Yeah, Brady, I think what ended up happening is, I would imagine Latricia probably got the skillet and put a few pot knots up on the side of his head.
He's in
from
trouble.
all this. Man, he was really, man.
He was giving it to her. It was
oh
great.
my gosh. I'm like going, he even posted today, what was the funniest line in the show? And somebody posted, I forgot what it was. Something, what was it like? I can't remember. It was hilarious. Something that she had done, and he's blaming it her. And he's Latricia said, Michael Simon, when he said, Latricia saved your butt, that was it twice. So, good. And Brady sweating.
Sweetie will be at the Jack. Sweetie won a qualifier. And
I saw that. That was great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, Mike, how do you go from 200 miles an hour to low and slow? I would guess you would have cans that look like Aaron's. So, nah, man, I'm kind of the low and slow guy. I cook at 270. I just got that rotisserie. It just goes round and round, and all the meat's chasing itself in there. So, oh, goodness gracious. Cooks tend to tweak stuff even when it's winning. Yeah. Bill will do it. He ain't ever run the same recipe. Wait, Mike. You filmed Bill's class before this episode. Didn't you? What happened? I don't use any of their recipes. That's what happened.
He does. That's for sure.
Everybody thinks I use all these guys' recipes. I will not run one single thing of theirs. I'll tell you,
I tasted Mike's brisket. It didn't taste anything like my brisket. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was a great brisket, but I could tell that it wasn't my recipe.
No,
that's kind of cool though that the judges, did it 1 and 2, and they had that different taste.
Yeah, the different taste. But man, I was great. I was like, I got a first place brisket. I told Suzette, she said, "How you feel?" I was like, I think this is a top 1 or 2. I can't see anybody here beating it. And like I said, when Bill tasted it, he's like, "Yeah, you bring mine over. Tell me what you think." And I was like, oh, crap, really? I said, if there's anyone that's going to beat me, it's going to be that one. So, and I called it, I got my brisket and ribs have been very, very, very strong. So.
Robbie, how's your brisket doing? Sorry, Robbie.
Hey, Nick, it's probably the first place brisket he's had in the last 10 competitions, and you didn't put it on TV.
It's not.
You were up there though. You got the RGC, didn't you? You got something. You were in there.
It's all good. It's all
right.
It's all good.
Let's change subject a second. Tell us a little bit about your podcast on
I wanted
321 BBQ TV. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so I again, it's just about reaching more people and trying to get the word out and get a little more time. So we've been reaching out to some of the pit masters we've been working with and just interviewing them and talking to them. And we're cutting those out as fast as we can. We actually got a little behind, but we have talked to Bill. We talked to Robbie. We got to get Mike. We got to do one with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're just trying to, keep the interest going in between seasons. And like I said, hopefully we'll have some good news here in the next few weeks. And we can kind of rev up the engines a little easier. Because that's the hardest part is when we got second season, it was like, okay, now we got to start the whole thing again. Yeah. But now I'd love to just start getting a flow going and start seeing what other stories are there. If BBQ USA doesn't get picked up, which it won't, but let's just say it doesn't, I would like to then have, all this casting and all these people we've met. Let's start thinking of what other shows we can get out there.
I've got a lot of ideas. Me and Robbie are always talking about that. I got a whole host of cooks that we could do something with.
I think there's a need. And I think we can do it. And if Food Network for whatever reason is moving on to something else, then maybe there's somewhere else that we can go with it.
But you're feeling pretty promising, Nick. I mean, the ratings are there. It's
ratings are going up, so that's huge. And they weren't. When I say they were down, they were just a little softer than the premiere last season. But like again, the community's really gotten behind it. You guys keep watching, keep telling people. And the last few episodes have really started upticking, and the network's taking notice. They told me they came in and said, yeah, it's really starting to pick up. So
I'll just say to all the people, I guess Mike's got 60-something people watching, share the Food Network post every week. It doesn't have to be my post or Mike's post, but get in there and share Michael Simon's post because he'll post every week.
Oh, he posts every week.
Oh yeah, every week.
So get in there and share it and try to get more than just us barbecue people watching.
And Michael Simon has been doing great because a lot of times the network doesn't give you a lot of promotion in a second season. They just kind of first season they'll give you a couple bumps, but Michael's been doing the Today Show. He's been on a bunch of different talk shows, really pushing it. So he's out there, trying to get people watching. And we have some great episodes coming up. Like I said, just very different. It's been on. So we'll see how they do.
It's been amazing. I mean, like I said, I want to applaud you for bringing a much needed spotlight to the sport of barbecue. I really do think if they will give you, I'm pretty hopeful next year you've got it. I think the numbers are going to continue to increase. People's got to, you've got to get a following of a show, right? You see season 1, it was pretty good. Season 2, oh yes. And then all of a sudden you get into it, right? And you're like, man, I'm ready for another show. Yeah. And I really, truly do believe that there's so many people that are interested in barbecue that I think as this continues to go, y'all are doing such great spins. I think y'all are showcasing, I tell you what, that Cooking Across America, really detailed like of an individual meat. That's going to help the average backyard cooker of how to do it. And then they see the show and then they like, man, I might want to go out and do that. Yep. I got into barbecue. I hung up the helmet of racing because we watched Barbecue Pitmasters. This was in 2012, 2013, 2012. And we seen it. And she said, well, you love to cook. You love to compete. Why don't we see what these guys are doing? I had seen Robbie on TV then. And she said, let's go to a competition and go see what it's about. That's what we did, So
it's addictive. I mean, I've said to my wife, like, hey, maybe we'll go try this out. And she's like, no. She goes, no. But
man, I know a couple of good classes you could take, Nick. If you
we can get you on the fast track to instant success really, really fast. So
I think one of the big things also is you can just hear Nick. If we're listening to Nick right here, this entire group, the Simple Alien group, that the production company that has traveled around and done these shows, care about what we're doing. They care about the sport to an extent Nick wouldn't mind maybe trying it and so forth, But right. Seriously, I've never experienced that in a sense. I've worked with some amazing folks through Pitmasters, Pit Wars, Smoke, and all of that, and not dissing them whatsoever. But what you're getting with Simple Alien and the Food Network with this show, it is competition barbecue.
It's a real deal.
All it is,
Man, and they love to eat it. Tyler, the cameraman, man, he's in the trailer after every turn in, hey, let me try your brisket. You can't get enough of it.
He was awesome.
That's the team I'm talking about. All those guys, the camera guy, we have such a great crew. Yeah. And all of them, they love watching, hanging with you guys.
They do. Yeah. They're really good.
Yeah, we had them all. Suzette came in. I don't know if you didn't know it, Nick. I guess Jessica didn't want you to be part of it. But when they came in, she had a bowl of candy and crackers and all this. I mean, and it was freezing cold. And they're like, hey, can we come in here and warm up? we got a pretty nice trailer on the inside, and it's plenty big enough for all of them. Man, they were coming over there eating candy, eating snacks, this, that. But I mean, and Tyler, like he said, I mean, super nice. I mean, all the film crew. There was Tyler was the camera guy, and I forgot the guy that was the sound guy that was working with him. I can't remember.
Tall guy.
We have three. We have Galen. We have Brian Fish is usually with us. I don't know if those guys were there.
Galen. It was Galen, I believe. I think that was the one that worked with him. But one of the things that I really thought was very professional of what you're doing. Y'all wanted to capture the moment of what we were doing, but the whole time it was, if there's anything that we're getting in your way, if there's anything that's keeping you from doing what you do, we don't want to interfere with that. And I thought that was really, really awesome. You are catching us in our element, but you're not compromising our cook in any way and don't want to compromise our cook. And to me, I thought that was really, really professional. I got ready to wrap ribs, and I think they were in there or something. There was something I was doing, and I literally had my whole counter, and they were standing over here, and I was like, man, if you could just get right here, you'll get the whole shot, because I need it. Like, yeah, man. And I mean, they immediately, it was no question. They went right over there, and like, oh, man, this is a great angle right here. I've got everything.
Yeah, so, we did. There's one story in season 1 with Brad getting basted. And we were shooting with him, and it was about he had like a minute left.
Turning, wasn't it?
Yeah, brisket turning. He had a minute left, and our sound, I think it was Galen actually. His sound guy was like, "Oh, can you stop for a second? Your mic dropped." and you can see it on Brad's face. He's looking at the clock like, I can't stop. And after that, we're like, no stopping. You just got to go. But you kind of learn it as you go. But we've always said, like, you got to be a fly on the wall. That's how you're going to get the best stuff. But I remember that with Brad, and I felt bad for him, but he got it in.
He got it in.
And he's
12 seconds left or something.
He tied Fred.
Yeah, tied Fred. Yeah. This is the best show I've seen since I've started watching this program. Great job, guys. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Verrill. He's regular. There we go.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, the film crew was awesome. I really had a great time working with them. And they also said, if there's anything you don't want on camera, just let us know. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Man, what did you tell him, CJ?
Yeah, okay.
CJ had a lot of stuff that ended up on the cutter.
Yeah, hey, Nick, you said something about you could go get that footage and send to him. Why don't you get all of it over to us as well? So. The faces of competitors, they announced the awards, caught all of the emotion perfectly. Yeah, it always does. You hear your name, man, it's just like, all right, So the only thing I kept telling Bill will tell you, I was like, I just don't want to embarrass myself. I'm BBQ Champs Academy. These guys think I've got every deadgum class there is. I said, I just don't want to sit on my butt. I want to get at least one call.
Man, I was the same way in Cedar Park. I was like, shoot, I hope I get a call. There's 60-something teams. I mean, there's competitions you go over. I mean, none of us are immune to it. And I hit first place chicken. I thought, I don't care about anything
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
So, I don't care about the rest of the meats or anything.
Robbie gets first place briskets, but they just cut him.
Yeah. Well,
I just kept that one for myself.
Well, I'm chicken fried. It's in the name, chicken.
Yeah. You gotta get it. That's true. We've had episodes where people we haven't had anybody place, or maybe one person place, and it still works. I think it still works because you're still interested in what they're doing.
You're seeing the true world of barbecue.
That's it.
The world, and it's everyone's personal journey, and I think we get into more of that with season 3, really getting into some of the background and some of these different characters. I think it'll be great. But,
I think now you start developing characters of who these guys are, and then all of a sudden you got followers. They like these guys, and that's what happens. We see it in reality TV all the time. So Robbie's like, "What are you going over there, Robbie?" So
and like I said, you never know. We keep doing this show, we get the word out. You could end up in another show. Like the LC. Sure. He didn't make it in one, but he made it another. So
Experience Film was fantastic.
Bill, there's Bill.
Where's Waldo? Every time Sue said, there's Waldo.
There's Bill Hayden. Bill Hayden was filmed at the American Royal, and he just had a small part. So you never know, Bill. Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
Oh,
American
goodness
Royal
gracious.
Crazy. At the American Royal, to me,
you
could film 10 shows there easily.
Well, and two, you guys were kind of spread out. I think like when we did Cedar Park, we were all together. I think that's a big benefit if you can get all the teams together.
Huge. Tifton, when we filmed with Robbie, when we filmed in Tifton with Robbie, everyone was pretty much all in one spot.
Next door,
That really makes a difference.
No
unless they're not
you film at the Jack, you should get us all together.
So. No. We'll film you all at the Jack.
Yeah. Has anybody got any comments or any questions? Excuse me, any questions for Nick? If you do, this is a good time to drop them in. We're normally we're at an hour, but man, we're still rolling. We still got a lot of folks on here. So
again, just thanks everybody for watching. Keep watching. We got some great episodes. 3 more episodes Mondays at 10 p.m. on Food Network. I think they stream them on Max. On Max now, they're streaming them. I don't know internationally if they're out where they are, if they're going to be out at some point. I'd love to do more international episodes, barbecue international, but
that would be real cool.
But we'll see what after that. And then check Barbecue 321. There's a casting, barbecue321.com for casting.
Okay.
And tell your friends about it. If even if you don't want to be on TV, tell someone else about it because we love to.
I got you.
Meet everyone.
I got you. Absolutely.
Will do, CJ.
Yeah, Discovery Plus. That's another one that you can watch it on Discovery Plus. So we don't get anything here. Let's see. In a world where we see so many bad sports, I enjoyed seeing the sportsmanship that Mike showed when Bill won.
Right.
Man, I did too.
Yeah. Bill definitely loved it.
I thought Mike was a great reserve.
Yeah, he was like, this worked out perfect for him. So. Oh goodness!
Hey Mike, I'll put another question out to the whole crowd and anybody else who wants. Is like, if you see something that you want to see more of or less of, I'm watching the show.
Don't ask them that.
Yes. Yes.
No, I mean, I'll probably get a lot of comments, but the one thing I always notice, and I want to try to figure it out, and I know it's tough, is we don't really ever get great shots of people's final boxes. We kind of get that little side angle. And I know a lot of times people like to close it right away, but I think if we did another season, I really want to kind of get in there a little bit and see those final boxes. Because I think that's very key to a lot of people seeing how, especially when people start placing. But stuff like that, I'm curious what everybody else.
I think that would be good because you look at the competitions and stuff. One of the things that they do because we watch the Food Network. Probably 90% of the TV shows we watch is the Food Network. Yeah. And I mean, whether it's, Carnival Eats, they're still, even when they do it, they get all the food and they get it all done. They want to see the beautiful presentation. Yeah. And people eat with their eyes, right? And if it looks good and they see it, they're like, God, man, my stuff don't look like that. Yeah. It's hard because people don't realize, I mean, cooking really good, pretty food it's not the easiest thing,
I love all that kind of detail. Rob at Bullhorn Barbecue, he has his So Smoking Gooder show, and he does that, like puts up pictures of boxes. Rate my box. I love that. I thought that was great.
And I've told him he needs to get drunk people on there to rate the boxes. Yeah. Somebody man, that looks like trash. Them are always the best shows if he gets somebody drunk on there to talk about, the boxes. So
right.
Patty cake in it.
I see Brady's asking, why didn't we mention a 3-way tie? And I'll tell you, there's a lot of nuances in there that it's just too hard to explain, and it brings up other questions, and then it takes too much time to try to figure it out. And there's a ton of those. There's a lot, like the scoring. It's like if we spend all day on the scoring, first off, people are going to turn the channel. Most people. Right. And also, I don't know if it really makes a difference. It's just kind of like, here's the gist, and here's what I get. But there is a lot of nuances like that, and sometimes they make.
Well, I even noticed too, because the way this one was done, in BCA they call out a number, but all that was edited out. They just called out the name.
Yeah, it was perfect. So, it's just sped it up, and which was really
sped it
good.
Up, and it saved a lot of time versus calling out the number. And then seeing who walked up and matching the ticket number and all the stuff that actually happens, and so
right. Yeah, I think you did it perfect. We don't have to hear all the numbers. You just went right to it. Here it is, right to it. That's a way to speed up the show to get more, footage of everything that we want to see. Yeah. So, I think what you've done is great. I'm hoping that you're going to get another year, and I think you will. 5 years. I think you will. I think this show is here to stay. I really do. I mean, people love Barbecue Pitmaster so much. To me, what I keep telling people and what I hear over and over, this is real world barbecue competition. It's not made up. It's not showed. It's not, it's not staged. There were so many people that I talked to over the years with Barbecue Champs that, because they always said it's too staged. We know stuff like that doesn't happen. Yeah. And when you start seeing that as a reality TV show of watching it, it's staged. The real people know Robbie is not going to do something stupid like that, right? Ernest is not going to do something stupid like that. Right. And it just becomes all of a sudden, it's not real, it's staged. And it takes, I think as long as you keep this growing is the element of what we do and capture it, I think you've got the hearts of everybody because we know this is real reality TV and this is what it is. It's like you said, it's a documentary. But when you're filming and you put it all together, it looks like a reality. Like, okay, who's what? I was hoping the one spot was going to make it when I came around, and I don't know if you ever watched this stuff. I told Suzette, I said, I'm going to go over there because Sweetie was next to me. I said, I'm going to get Sweetie's butt. He just needs it. I don't know what he's over there saying. I had a squirt bottle, and man, I had a stream. I come walking around. I started squirting like, all right, but who's on fire? Who's on? And I didn't realize his trailer had caught on fire. I didn't realize all that stuff was going on. I just was squirting it with water. He was cracking up. I was like, man, I heard that you were on fire over here. I didn't realize his trailer was on fire. But he thought that was going to make the show for sure. So, but it's
But I
having
do
fun.
think too, Nick, if you do a season 3, because and I think Robbie will tell you, and same as Mike, but a lot of winning and losing kind of happens the last kind of 10 minutes on the cutting board, as far as when you're on that cutting board, the last 10 minutes, as far as picking out which ribs to put in the box, and man, do they need a little bit of a pop? Do they need this, and placing them into the box, because there's a lot of stuff that happens that maybe the first 2 seasons really didn't get pictures of boxes or actually the pit masters, but the more nuggets you can put out there, which a lot of us that are doing well will, we are at the last 10 minutes, man, we're trying to figure out which pork we're going to put in the box, which pieces are going in, and to give those nuggets to the backyard guy to get them interested. The more you can divulge, the better off, the more of a following you're going to get.
Yeah, I think there's that. And the other thing, in season 1, we did more of a leaderboard to see other names and other teams up there. And the network had us tweak that. But I kind of want to go back to that, because I did like seeing more people winning. And we try to still get shots. Not so much number 1 brisket at Butts of Clucks, but everything else. We like seeing people walk the stage. I'm sorry, Robbie.
Robbie's just, I have never seen Robbie so humble and quiet.
I mean, I was wondering who got first place brisket at that competition too, being from Texas. Man, I was wondering, man, who won brisket? I wonder.
That's it. So Nick, here you go. It's so good because it's a genuine show. And I think if you stay true to that, I think this is going to be huge. Okay, dumb question. Is it BBQ321?
Yes. BBQ321.com. BBQ321.com. I think BBQ321 goes to it, but if it doesn't, it will after this podcast.
Yeah.
It's BBQ321.
Is there a TV in there? There's a TV in there.
The socials BBQ321 TV, but the BBQ321.com is the .com.
Gotcha.
Okay,
the casting link is on there. It'll be posted as well, but you should be able to find it on there.
Okay, is that where the podcast can be seen too, Nick?
Yeah, you can get to the podcast there, and we've been trying to do some show reviews of other barbecue shows and just kind of spread the love out that way too.
Okay.
If there's a barbecue show that you think we need to review, I'd love to hear about it.
Okay.
There's
good.
one. I know you guys were fans of that Barbecue Country on the Country Network. I haven't really watched it. It's more of a setup competition, but I know
Mark Lambert was the host. Mark was the host.
Yep. I don't know how that was doing, but I just like to see what else is out there and spread the love as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. The more interest we can keep in barbecue, the future is going to be bright. I think we've about got everybody. Let's see.
Fergalicious just sent me a text last night. He's like, "Man, you're in like 14 of the 13 episodes." I think going forward, he said they'll probably just do an AI version of you.
That's it.
I like the Where's Waldo or the outtake show. No, that's a good idea, James. We should, at the end of the show, show some outtakes.
I think so. That could be a whole hilarious thing to show right there. So. Robbie is the man. Tara. 3, 2, 1. There it is, right there, Lucas. 3, 2, 1, 4. Not that I'm not signing up already. So all the way from the land down under.
Yep.
Oh goodness gracious. Well, I tell you what, I really do appreciate Nick you taking the time to be on. We don't want to take up no more of your time. We know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for what you are doing for Competition Barbecue.
Absolutely.
To bring an enormous light on the sport that we love. I think the barbecue community is going to get behind you 1,000%. And I think the numbers are going to just continue to go up. I think as more and more people see this, the backyard people, backyard people are the next generation of barbecue competition cooks. And I think over time, if you can get season 3, I think the numbers are going to just continue to get bigger for season 4 and grow.
Well, we hope so. And thank you everybody for watching. And Bill and Robbie, we'll see you guys out there. Mike.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a great sport and it's a great family.
We'll see you in Memphis in 3 weeks.
Yeah, the Memphis episode. Robbie, you got to check out Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie's going to be in Memphis in 3 weeks. I'm going to be at the Jack, so I will see you there at the Jack.
We tied for first place beef at Memphis. I don't know if that'll make the show.
Yeah, you might get up there. You might get up on stage, Bill. Bill's going to get
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, everybody, I hope that y'all have enjoyed our show tonight. We have a lot of fun with these guys. Stick around for just a few minutes. Let me get this broadcast ended. We really do appreciate everybody so much, and we always love our listeners. Thank you so much for always joining us, spending a little bit of your time on Tuesday night watching a bunch of guys talk about barbecue on a computer screen. We have a lot of fun doing it. We'll get a couple more great guys coming in next week. And as we always close out our cast on BBQ Champs Academy, we'll close it out the same way here. Everybody go out there, have a lot of